How to make your mountain bike a better commuter. Most of us just have the one mountain bike and don't have the luxury of a second bike that allows for a different kind of riding. Now, your second bike could have been something like a road bike or a gravel bike or a hybrid. So what happens if you want to commute with your mountain bike and you've only got the one? How do you set it up for a different kind of riding? And how would you plan a commute to take advantage of what your bike is capable of? Firstly, let's have a look at some of the changes you can make to your bike to make it a bit better at riding on a milder terrain. There's a chance you're running some decent treads on your bike. Your tyres are made for finding grip off-road, in the dirt and in the mud, where you need tall treads and sticky rubber. This is very different from the road where slicks rule the tarmac. Now, there's two different ideas here. If you're looking to transform your bike into your commuter for the season or beyond, then you might want to look at changing your tyres entirely. There are more and more gravel type tyres out there that bridge the gap between MTB and road. So these could make the perfect option because let's face it, no matter how much you want to commute on your MTB, you still want to take it off-road once in a while and even along your commuting route. But we'll get to the routing bit in a moment. A more gravel style tyre will roll a lot faster and it will likely be a lot lighter in general, which will help you keep your momentum a lot easier too. If this is your one and only bike and you want to keep the same tyres, the thing to do then is to choose tyre pressures over changing the tyre completely. You'll never consider running a pressure over 30 psi off-road probably, but try exactly that for riding it on the road. It will help increase your rolling speed, which means less effort on your part. Don't go too high though, as you still want some compliance in the tyres, and most MTB tyres are only rated up to about 40 psi. Next up is pressures that you could change not just in your tyres but in your suspension. You might have only a front suspension fork or you might have rear suspension too, but either way you're going to want to look at firming up that suspension. You're not going to encounter the sorts of harsh terrain on a road ride that you would out on the trail. Your suspension is going to suck up a lot of your hard work on the road. So by adding a bit more pressure into the shocks, you're allowing a lot more energy to be effectively transferred into the ground. There's also a lockout to think about, and if you have this option on your bike, then it will be a whole lot easier to just flip the switch on and have the option of plush suspension when flipping it back. You could also change the low speed compression. Most forks have a quick dial to change this, and doing so will increase the initial stiffness of the fork. It all adds up. Commuting isn't like a day out on the trails, unfortunately, and you often need to at least try and stay clean, and even the roads can kick up some nasty surprises. A great pair of mudguards could take care of a lot of that mess. A bigger front one will block most of the spray on your face and on your clothes, so it's well worth investing in one of those. The rear is an interesting case though. Most of us real mountain bikers shun the larger mudguards. They don't look that cool sometimes, even though they can make a huge difference. At the very least, however, you'd want to think about something like an arse saver, small little mudguard that just goes under the seat. This will prevent the majority of the dreaded skunk tail from adorning your back and making you look quite dirty in the office. When you can't stay clean, that's when you need to make sure you have something to change into. Riding is sweaty work at the best of times, so the next thing you need to think about is bags. The last thing you want to be doing is rocking up to work in your sweat-drenched clothes. You might just rock a backpack or with all the essentials in it, which could include a change of clothes as well as some shoes. There's also the option of bags to fit the bike right there. Frame bags, handlebar bags, saddle bags. They're the popular options because they don't need any extra mounting systems like eyelets. But if your bike has those options, then a set of pannier bags could also work. A lot of it is a matter of how much space you need. You might be stopping by the grocery store on your way home and need to get extra space for the dinner. Next up is planning where you want to ride, and you could easily stick your destination into Google Maps and take a different path, but you could also use your commute as an excuse to get more time on your bike and explore a bit around you. There might be some woodlands between you and work, and you could head in through those, or if you're lucky you could even get a lap of your local trails. We use Commute here at GMBN, and this gives us loads of options to find new routes that are off the beaten track. They could just be gravel roads or bridleways linking two roads together, or you could bypass most of the roads completely. It all depends on where you live, obviously, and how much time you want to take on your commute, but it's a great way to get some time in the saddle out in the mud. And we all need to do that, and it's better than going to work. Lastly, we have accessories. It's those little tidbits that make or break a ride. Lights, for example, will be pretty essential when riding to and from work in the winter, where you'll almost definitely be riding in the dark. And glasses will be great for sunny rides, but also for keeping bugs and muck out of your eyes. And of course, there's a lock. Once you get to your destination, you might not have somewhere secure to store your bike, so you need to have a lock to keep it safe. And you can also take advantage of a lock at the local coffee shop on your way in, or grab those groceries on your way home. A lock is going to be necessary for those examples, so you need a good one of those too. Let us know in the comments below if you're commuting to work and finding extra off-roading time because of it. I really hope you are. Make sure you check out the GMBN shop for our merchandise. It will help support the channel, and we really appreciate that support. Also, love, like and share on your social media channels. That would be gratefully appreciated too. And until next time, I'll say goodbye. Happy commuting, everyone.